Good morning, students. Welcome to the class of Managerial Economics. Let me introduce myself first. I am Niyati Kotecha. I am an MBA with specialization in finance, and from today onwards, I am going to deal with the subject called Managerial Economics. Today, in this part, we will be study about brief revision of Unit 1, that is Introduction to Managerial Economics and Demand Forecasting. We will be starting today by discussing that what all we are going to study in this particular subject, plus what is the importance and need to study managerial economics, and how it is going to help our future managers to become more intelligent and efficient in their field. As we all know that resources available to any individual, firm, nations is limited in nature, whereas the use of those resources are unlimited. Therefore, that is very important to study economics so that limited resources can be utilized in its best possible way. So, what you will get from my lecture series is concept learning, basics, definitions, theory, and all the important points highlighted in the PPT, all in one material along with the PPTs with highlighted points, recent examples discussion, exam tips, all the IMP questions I am providing to you, and all the suggested answers. This is the course content of Unit 1, Introduction to Managerial Economics and Demand Forecasting. We will going with the point to point syllabus, that is meaning of managerial economics, definition, nature and scope of managerial economics, then demand forecasting, meaning, objectives, factors and survey methods. This is the quick revision session of Unit 1 that you have already done. Next, what is managerial economics? Meaning of managerial economics. We will be starting with economics, and then we will understand what is managerial economics and how traditional economics is different from the managerial economics. So, economics is a social science concerned with the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. It studies how individuals, business, governments, and nations make choices about how to allocate resources. Then, managerial economics deals with the applications of the economic concepts, theories, tools, and methodologies to solve practical problems in the business. So, economics is generally theories about how individuals, business, governments, and nations are using resources, how they are allocating the resources, how they are making the decisions. And managerial economics deals with all the economic theories that are applied to businesses. In other words, managerial economics is the combination of economic theory and managerial theory. So, difference between traditional economics and managerial economics. So, traditional economics is the both microeconomics and macroeconomics in nature. So, traditional economics is basically dealing with all the micro environments, all the microeconomics theories, how individual makes decision, how firms makes decision, and macroeconomics, that how nations makes decisions. whereas managerial economics is the only macroeconomic in nature, because managerial economics is dealing with only managerial decisions. Then traditional economics having the wide scope, because it deals with each and every aspects of the firm, whereas managerial economics is having limited scope, because it is concerned with decision making and economic theories that guides decision making in business. Then traditional economics is a normative and positive science both, whereas managerial economics is a normative science. So what is normative and positive science approach? Positive science approach deals with the descriptions and all the economic analysis and of economic problems. It is concerned with what was, what is, and what will be done in the economy. But in the normative approach, on the other hand, it is concerned with what ought to be. So, what should be done by the firm? That is, what should be its aims, and what is the objectives of the business? What are the objectives of the business? How how firms and businesses makes decisions. So it comes in normative approach. So traditional economics considers both, that is normative and positive science, whereas managerial economics is having only focus on businesses, thus it is a normative science. Traditional economics is concerned with the theoretical aspects, all the theories of related to individuals, related to firms, related to nations, related to whole international environment, whereas managerial economics is having practical aspects like decision making in the business, like what to produce, how much to produce. It is based on individual firms decision making. How firms are making decisions, it comes in managerial economics. Definitions of the here are some authors definitions, like managerial economics is a branch of economic science. The purpose of managerial economics is to show how economic analysis can be used in formulating business policies. Managerial economics is the application of economic theory and methodology in the business administration practice. So, in general sense, we can say that managerial economics is the application of all the economic theories in business. Next is, what is microeconomics and macroeconomics? So, economics ranges from the very small to very large. What is microeconomics? Microeconomics is the study of individual decisions. How individual making decisions about what to buy, how firms are making decisions about what to produce, how much to produce, from whom we source materials, or for uh, and the like. And macroeconomics is dealing with study of how economy as a whole works, like national income, GDP, GNP, that is gross national products, gross domestic products, and national debt. So what is microeconomics and how it affects businesses? It's all about managerial economics. So managerial economics comes in microeconomics because it is dealing with individual decisions. So here we are going to nature of managerial economics. So nature of managerial economics. First is managerial economics is an art and science. So how it can be art and science both? Managerial economics is an art because managerial economics deals with the business decision making, and decision making is an art, whereas how it can be a science? Because managerial economics applies all the economic theory to business. So economic theories and principles are, it is in science because it applies as it is in business. So managerial economics is both art as well as science. Then microeconomics. So as we have discussed earlier, managerial economics comes under the microeconomics. Microeconomics is a study of individual decision making, and firm is making individual decisions like what to produce, how to produce, how much to produce, from whom we source raw materials, or from whom we are making products, etc. Next is its uses macroeconomics. What is macroeconomics? Macroeconomics is a study of whole economy. A whole economy consists of nation's economy, international economy, our state's economy, economic environment. So all the state's economic environment, nation's economic environment, international economic environment, all are affecting our business. So it uses macroeconomics, but managerial economics comes under microeconomics. Managerial economics is a multidisciplinary. How it can be a multidisciplinary? Because it is related to the business decision making, and business decision making, and in business decision making is in every areas. Like in finance, we have to make decision about from where we source our money, like we source from our owners money, we source from somewhere, we source from taking loan, we source from introduction new shares and bonds, etc. Then it comes to the human resource, that how many workers are needed, how many staffs are needed. For example, in this COVID-19 situation, people are or businesses are laying off their staff. That is, they are dispatching uh, mm, dispatching staffs because they are not needed, because demand is decreasing in this COVID-19 situation. And how it uh, how it possible how it because it is becoming more costlier for the business. Then comes to the marketing. So how in marketing we have to make a sales target, sales budget, advertising budget, etc. So in business, every areas requires decision making. So managerial economics is applied to all decision making. Then it is a prescriptive or normative discipline. So as we have discussed earlier, it is a normative science, as uh, what should be done by a firm, what it will produce, and third like questions like what it will produce, that is decision making, comes under managerial economics. Then it is a management oriented. Of course, economics as a whole, it is not it is a traditional economics is not a management oriented or in a particular field oriented, whereas a managerial economics is a management oriented because it contains management decision making. Then pragmatic. What is pragmatic? Pragmatic is a real life, or we can say real time decision making, or it is applied in real life. Managerial economics is not just a theory, but it applies in practical, in like business decisions. Uh, for example, we have to introduce new products in markets. So, as a business, we have to find out what is demand and what are others suppliers are supplying the same products. We have to find out and we have to make a decision regarding the product launching. So, it applies in real life also. It is known as pragmatic. Next is scope of managerial economics. The scope is divided in basically two parts, that is internal and operational issues, or and external or environmental issues. Let's see what internal or operational issues. Internal or operational issues are arises within the business organization. जो बिजनेस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर ही अराइज होता है, दैट इज़ इंटरनल और ऑपरेशनल इश्यूज, एंड इट इज़ अंडर कंट्रोल ऑफ द मैनेजमेंट. मैनेजमेंट उसको कंट्रोल कर सकता है. मैनेजमेंट कैन कंट्रोल these internal or operational issues regarding what to produce, like we for example, we are producing product X and products Y. Product Y is not doing well in market, so we have to make decision about uh, we have to make decision about discontinuing of product Y and launching some new product like product Z, etc. Then how to produce and how much to produce. How much to produce is depend upon the demand and market situation. So internal or operational issues is for resource allocation, how to allocate our resources into various activities like production, marketing, human resource, how much money we will need it, that is in financing decision. Then how much the manpower we will need it, that is in human resource decision. Then how much we are targeting the sales, that is marketing decision. And how much we will produce and what will be the demand, we have to make a decision regarding resource allocation. Then demand analysis, we have to do demand analysis before we are making a production. Then we will do cost analysis before making the production, that is product per product cost. Then overall cost are needed to be calculated. Then pricing policies and practices, we have to decide what price it what that is pricing decision. uh, what will be the price of the product, and how others are making the pricing decisions, like our competitors are making pricing decisions, and what are the competitors pricing policies. Then profit planning and break even analysis, at what point our profit it is started, or at what point it is in break even. Of course, profit is the main goal of the business, so break even analysis and profit analysis is very much needed in business. Then capital budgeting and investment decisions, we are making investments in plants, machineries, in real estates, like in land or in business buildings. So how they are making returns to it. For example, we have invested 1 lakh in machinery. So how much a machinery can produce? And for example, a machinery is producing 10,000 units per day. So earlier our old machine is making only 100 units per day, but we are making extra 1 lakh rupees and we get 10,000 units per day, almost 10 times higher. So uh, so this all decisions comes under the internal or operational issues that we can control in our business. Then strategic planning about what we are going in long term. Next is external or environmental issues. External or environmental issues in managerial economics refer to the general business environment in which firm operates. A firm operates where competitors, customers, suppliers, public, government, firm is making business with all of these parties. So it is a general business environment in which a firm operates, that is in external or environmental issues. So external or environmental issues like nature of economic system of the country. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल हमारे कंट्री में अभी रिसेशन चल रहा है, तो हमारा डिसीजन क्या होगा इस टाइम पे? बिजनेस को वहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट नहीं करना चाहिए जहाँ हमारा पैसा ब्लॉक हो जाए. सो एक्सटर्नल और एनवायरमेंटल इश्यूज आर focusing on such decisions like general trends in production, employment, income, savings, investment, price level, etc. Like in such COVID-19 situation, people are tend to invest less and save more. So people are not going to buy some for example, for a restaurant business is affecting affected by external issues, like people are more taking more taking their people are taking more good care of their health and not eating for restaurant. They are preferring the uh, home lunches, and they are preferring the uh, food from their home. Then trends in working of financial institutions like bank or insurance companies. Yes, every now and then we are reading newspapers that banks are doing not well, or banks are going to bankrupt, etc. So all this all these trends are affected to the business. Trends in labor and capital markets. For example, labors are not available in this COVID-19 situation, so we have to make decision about how to make products in these times, how to produce more and with limited labors. Then capital markets decisions, government policies are there. Every now and then business is affected by various government policies like ban on plastics. And in this COVID-19 situation, business have to make good care of their employees and all. Then political and social factors that are affecting the business, that are फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल अगर पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज़ चेंज होती है तो उसकी आइडियोलॉजी भी चेंज होगी. सो उसके हिसाब से फिर न्यू पॉलिसीज़ आएगी. सो दैट all we are that all business we will face. that is external or environmental issues. Then demand forecasting. Demand forecasting is a combination of two words. The first one is demand and another is forecasting. Demand means outside requirements of the products or service. In general, forecasting means making an estimation in the present for a future occurring event. So, demand forecasting is basically a technique for estimation of a probable demand for a product or services in the future. It is based on the analysis of past demand for that product or service in the present market condition. Next is, for example, demand forecasting. For example, suppose we sold 200, 250 and 300 units of product X in the month of January, February and March respectively. Now we can say that there will be a demand of average 250 units approximately for product X in the month of April if the market conditions remains the same. Next is objectives of demand forecasting. Why we have to we have to forecast a demand? What are the objectives? That is divided into two parts, that is short term objectives and long term objectives. So what are the short term objectives? Is to avoid under or over production. Yes, if we are forecasting demand earlier, so we make a pure decision regarding a sure decision regarding under or over we are making sure decision regarding production. In recent example we have seen that we predicted demand of 250 unit approximately. So rather than making the lump sum production, we are making a more realistic estimate. Then reduce cost of raw material and control inventories. Yes, if we know what will be a demand in upcoming months, we can surely predict about how much raw material will be needed in near future, or we can control inventories in our warehouse. So for example, in next month we will predict that festivals are coming, and in this festive seasons if we are producing clothes, so we can predict that in this festive season the demand will going to be hike. So we have to predict demand in advance, and as per we have to control inventories in our warehouse. We have to prepare clothes in advance and apparels in advance, so that in festive season we can sell it. Then determine price and sales target. Yes, if we forecast that demand is going to be rise in this festive season, so what we will do? Yes, we make a price decisions, like we may provide discounts, we may hike price if demand is going to be rise in near future, and we give some sales targets, like in festive seasons Amazon and Flipkarts is introducing some new schemes like Big Billion Days and Great Indian Festivals, etc. Then what are the long term objectives of demand forecasting? We have to plan for a new unit or expansion of business. If we predict that our product is going to be in higher demand in next few months or few years, we have to plan for a new unit. For example, in this COVID-19 situation, makers of soaps, hand wash, and hand sanitizers, they are making a demand forecasting that our demand for soap or hand wash is going to be in hike for next few years. So they may plan for a new unit or expansion of their business. They may plan for product diversification. For example, a washing powder making company may decide to produce soaps or hand washes to expand their market and to grab this opportunity in such a demanding situation. Then we have to arrange long-term finance. We have to borrow money to expand our business. We have to plan for a manpower, that how much manpower will be needed to establish new production facilities and all. Then what are the factors that is affecting demand forecasting? So demand forecasting is affected by all these factors. Yes, first of all is time period. So if we are making a short term demand forecasting, so time period is very much needed. What will be a demand in next few months? What will be demand in next few seasons? What will be demand in next few years? So it is demand forecasting is it is depends on time period. In shorter time period, we may know that in coming festival season there will may hike in demand of our products, or and then after we may predict or we may forecast that in after the festive season there may be a no there may be a situation that there will be no hike in demand at all. So it is based on time period. Then level of demand forecasting. Yes, we are making demand forecasting at the macro level, industry level, and firm level. So in macro level, demand forecasting is concerned with the overall business conditions prevailing in the economy as a whole. So is as there is a COVID-19 situation is prevailing, so we can predict that जहाँ तक वैक्सीन प्रॉपर वैक्सीनेशंस नहीं आएगी ये कोविड की, तब तक हम ये तो डिमांड प्रेडिक्ट कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल हमारा रेस्टोरेंट है, रेस्टोरेंट का बिज़नेस है, सो हम ये प्रिडिक्ट कर सकते हैं कि रेस्टोरेंट में जो फूड की डिमांड है वो तब तक एटलीस्ट हाइक नहीं होगी जब तक कोई कोरोना की वैक्सीनेशंस आ नहीं जाती. सो इट इज़ अ मैक्रो लेवल डिमांड फोरकास्टिंग. Then industry level demand forecasting, as we have discussed now that in restaurants and food and beverages industry, that is very much affected by the COVID-19 situation. Then firm level demand forecasting, that how our particular business is affecting. For example, a packaged foods making companies like Parle hai, Nestle hai, they are making good profits in COVID-19 situation. Even from they are coming from food and beverages industry, because they are making a packaged foods and beverages. So they are less affected in this COVID situation. So they can demand much higher in upcoming months or upcoming years. Then nature of demand forecast. the firm should be clear whether it is interested in general forecasting or specific forecasting. In general forecasting, demand is accepted as a general concept. जनरली हम कहते हैं ना कि हमने जनरली ये फाइंड किया है कि डिमांड विल गोइंग टू बी हाई, or while specific forecasting involves forecasting the demand for a specific product. For example, Hindustan Unilever is making a range of products and range of personal care products. They are, for example, in soap, they are producing Lux, Lifebuoy, then Dove, and the range of soaps they are making. But in specific forecasting, they have to make a forecast for example, for Dove. They are making forecasting for Dove soap, so it is a specific forecasting. But if they are making a general forecasting for a soap, okay, how much demand of soap in nearby time, so it is general forecasting for soap. And if they are making for Dove specifically, so it is comes under a specific forecasting. Then the nature of the product, we have to be clear whether the demand forecasting to be made for the established product or for a new product. जो हमारे पास है अभी प्रोडक्ट अवेलेबल, उसके लिए हम डिमांड फोरकास्ट कर रहे हैं या हम न्यू प्रोडक्ट के लिए कर रहे हैं. बिकॉज इन न्यू प्रोडक्ट वी हैव टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम ज़ीरो, एंड फ्रॉम एग्जिस्टिंग प्रोडक्ट वी हैव सम बेस ऑफ पास्ट, दैट पास्ट इसी साल में इसी मंथ में क्या डिमांड थी, एटलीस्ट वो हम प्रेडिक्ट कर सकते हैं. Then, nature of competition. It is also necessary to have a clear idea about the nature and extent of competition in market. If we are in having tough competition, so there will be a chance that overall demand is hiking for a soap. Yes, in this COVID-19 situation, there are so much new soaps and new hand washes are launched nowadays. So there is a going to be a hike in competition. So it is also for example, competition is rising, then if demand is rising, we cannot predict surely about what our product is having a particular demand. Then selection of appropriate method. So selection of appropriate method of demand forecasting is an equally important. This may be done after taking into account of the nature of the product, available information regarding the demand of the producer. Yes, कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हमें मेथड तो सिलेक्ट प्रॉपर ही की होती है, बट the information that we collected, so there is some gaps in information that हमने जो डेटा लिया है वो पास्ट ईयर का लिया है, बट अभी पास्ट ईयर का डेटा हमें यूज़ नहीं कर सकते बिकॉज the situation is entirely different in 2020. So we cannot take a base of 2018 and 2017 data of say the same year, the same month. Then the interpretation of the result obtained. It is also necessary to interpret correctly and accurately the result obtained through a demand forecasting. If we are not making a correct interpretation, so entire demand forecasting will be a waste. Then comes to a method of demand forecasting. So there are some direct methods and indirect methods. So what is the direct methods? Comes consumer survey, experts opinion, and controlled market experiments. So what will be Then consumer survey is divided into the complete enumerative survey and sample survey method. So consumer survey method, under this method of demand forecasting, intentions of the buyers is what they are intent to buy, how much quantity to buy at different prices, etc. are known through a personal context. Thus, this method shifts burden for demand forecasting on the buyers. This may be done through a personal interviews. We can mail it, the questionnaires, or telephonic interview. Questionnaires are prepared to find out the buyer's intentions with regard to say price of the products, its quality, its design, its packing, etc. So it is divided into two parts, that is complete enumerative survey and sample survey. So what is the complete enumerative survey? Under this method, all the potential buyers of the products are contacted. That what will be a target audience of our product? What are our potential buyers? And their interviews are conducted to find out the probable demand. And having ascertained the individual demand for the product by complete enumerative method, these are added together to find out the what is probable demand. So हमारे जो potential customers है, जो भी हमारे customers नहीं है, बट हम उन्हें कन्विंस करके और उनका पर्सनल इंटरव्यू लेके, लाइक कभी भी बड़ी बड़ी कंपनियां हैं वो डमी कस्टमर्स भेजती है कोई मॉल्स या सुपरमार्केट्स में, और लोगों का पर्सनल इंटरव्यू लेती है कि आपको ये ब्रांड कैसी लगती है एक्सेट्रा. सो इट कम्स इन अ कंप्लीट एन्यूमरेटिव सर्वे. So in complete enumerative survey is help to find out what is the probable demand of our product. Then it comes to a sample survey method. In view to the limitations of the complete enumerative method, sample survey method has become more popular. Under this method, only a few customers have selected from the potential buyers and interviewed, and then average demand is calculated. So complete enumerative survey में क्या होता था, हम randomly पोटेंशियल बायर्स को या एग्जिस्टिंग बायर्स को हम पूछते थे कि आपको ये प्रोडक्ट की डिमांड है या नहीं, उनका इंटरव्यू लेते थे. फिर क्या होता था कि इतना सारा इंफॉर्मेशन हमारे पास होता था, सो हम वी कैन नॉट find out the exact interpretation from all the answers. Rather, we can say in sample survey method, we can take a sample of such, for example, in mall, we have selected 10 random samples of customers, and we have interviewed them and ask the questionnaires about the product, and we come to the average interpretation. Okay, then collective opinion or expert opinion method. Under this method, forecast is made on the basis of expert opinion. There are certain categories of people who are in the know of the market or know of the customers' responses to market. For example, salesmen, market consultants, professional experts, marketing managers, or dealers, distributors who are in direct touch of the customers. So they are very well know about what is the demand and what will be the demand in next season or next few months. Then controlled market experiments. So what is controlled market experiments? Under this method, certain demand determinants like price, quality, advertisements which can be manipulated are and are varied separately, and these experiments are conducted to know likely change in demand assuming the other factors remain constants. For example, we have made an experiment by introducing a new advertisement in market. So after advertisement, we are going to check that how likely to change in demand after introducing a new advertisement. Is there any change or not? For example, we are going to another example, we are going to give a price discount. So we are about to know likely change in demand after price discount, if there is in hiking demand or not. So it is a control market experiment in that we are making experiments, different experiments like price discounts, advertisements, etc. Then indirect method, that is the statistical methods. In indirect method, we are going to use some statistical methods, some principles that are going to help in our demand forecasting. First of all is trend projection method. So under the trend projection method, which is the one of the indirect methods, past data is used to project the sales in coming years. For example, in 2018 we have make 20,000 unit of sales of soap. So what will be in 2019 or what will be in 2020? So we are making the use of the past data. It is known as trend projection method. A firm which has been existing for a long period, it has disposal considerable data on the sales pertaining to different time periods. For example, a firm is having a long experience of in market like 20 years. So they have experienced more market situations, and they can predict more accurately for different time periods. Such type of data is known as time series. So for example, last 10 years of data, starting from 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. So last 10 of year of data, we are going to analyze those data, and we come to the conclusion of average demand. Average demand will be in next 10 years. Then comes to the test marketing. So what is test marketing, or we can say market test method, is also one of the methods of demand forecasting. Under this method, in order to forecast the demand potential for a new product, initially it is introduced to certain limited area of a market. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल न्यू प्रोडक्ट हमें लॉन्च करनी है. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल जियो मार्केट अभी लॉन्च हुआ. सो कंट्री के कुछ ही हिस्सों में लॉन्च हुआ, लाइक बेंगलुरु एंड मुंबई. सो इन मेट्रो सिटीज़ ओनली, they are not launching in every parts of country. Why? Because they have to they have done market test method to predict the demand of geomart, that how people are responding to the geomart or not. Then economic indicator method. So what economic indicator method is saying, the method of demand forecasting uses the most reliable indicator for forecasting the method for the product concern. For example, most trustworthy indicator for predicting demand is walking the stick. For examples, indicators like for motor cars, like for cars, indicator of car registration may be used. For example, अभी फेस्टिव सीज़न आ रहा है तो कार की डिमांड कितनी रहेगी अगले 2-3 महीनों तक. सो वी कैन प्रिडिक्ट फ्रॉम कार रजिस्ट्रेशंस, car bookings, that how people are or what people are interested in which cars or which car models. So on that basis we can indicate our demand for a particular model of car. Then barometric forecasting. So what is barometric forecasting? It's also called leading indicator method. So there are four methods in barometric forecasting, that is leading series, coincidental series, lagging series, and diffusion indices. First of all, A, leading series. These indicators tend to be reflect future market conditions and those aspects which move up and down ahead of some other series. For example, new new orders arrive for a प्रोडक्ट. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल फेस्टिव सीज़न में हमारा जो सेल्स है वो अप होता है. सो इट इज़ अ लीडिंग इंडिकेटर दैट फेस्टिव सीजन्स में हमारी डिमांड अप होगी, whereas some other seasons में हमारी डिमांड इतनी ज़्यादा नहीं होगी. So these indicators, from these indicators we have to find out our demand. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल हमारी रॉ मटेरियल के प्राइस अप हो गए बिकॉज ऑफ दिस कोविड-19 पेंडेमिक. सो इट इज़ एन इंडिकेटर दैट प्राइस ऑफ आवर गुड्स should be raised. But the problem is, if we are going to raise our price, then it will adversely affect our demand, that people buy less our products and they are going to buy more of competitors products. So it is a leading series. Then coincidental series. These indicators coincide with the rise and fall of the level of economic activity and market trends. For example, number of employees in the non-agriculture sector. For example, coincidence होता है, like this is the COVID-19 pandemic. So pandemic situation is not every now and then in every year. So it is abnormal situations happening in the uh, uh, economy. It is also affecting our demand of the product. Yes, it COVID-19 pandemic has impacted all of the industries working in economy. So it is an coincidental events. For example, अचानक अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ गया है, सो दे कैन अफेक्ट इन डिमांड. लाइक अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ गया है तो लोगों के पास अभी सेविंग्स कम होगी, या लोग अभी कुछ खर्च नहीं कर पाएंगे. सो डिमांड विल गोइंग टू बी डाउन इन upcoming months. So it's a coincidental series, that are abnormal events and unforeseen events are arising. Then lagging series. Lagging series are those which record change after some time lag. For example, um, mm, for example, lending rates. For example, अभी फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर मिसेस निर्मला सीतारमण ने ये अनाउंस किया कि बिकॉज ऑफ द कोविड-19 पेंडेमिक there will be low in interest rates of home loans. Then for loans for consumer durables. So from these indicators we can predict that, for example, we are a builder building a house, so we can predict that After the announcement of the government policies like this, that customer will get a concession in loans and get subsidies from for home loans, so a builder can predict the demand for their build houses. So it is a lagging series. Then diffusion indices. So what is indices? For example, index copes with the problem of the different signals given by the leading indicators. It shows the percentage of leading indicators which experience a simultaneous rise over a preceding period. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल हमने जो प्रिडिक्ट किया था उसका ये परसेंटेज, फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल हमने प्रिडिक्ट की है दैट फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल न्यू बिल्डिंग परमिट्स will surely rise in our building houses. If we are a builder, and we are uh, going to start a new building houses, so new build permits are new build permit, how this change occurs and what it will impact in our demand, how much it will impacted in our demand. For example, new build permits have increased our demand of build houses by 50%. So it is known as the diffusion in indices. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल कॉरपोरेट प्रॉफिट्स में जो टैक्स लगता है वो कम हो गया अभी थोड़े टाइम के लिए. सो हाउ इट will be impacted upon our profits, how it will impacted upon our prices of products, and how ultimately it will impacted upon our demand. So it's known as diffusion indices. How much it will affect on demand is known as diffusion indices. So yeah, work hard, stay focused, and make it happen. Thank you so much.